Wouldn't it be absurd if someone got arrested for sitting on a railroad car?
This was the reality for Homer Plessy. Plessy sat in a vacant seat on a white-only railroad car that he himself bought the ticket for. He was then arrested when they found he was 1/8 black. Because of this, Plessy started a debate with John H. Ferguson that Louisiana's Car Act violated the 14th Amendment, while Ferguson argued that it was constitutional because of the separate but equal doctrine.
Even though John H. Ferguson argued that the facilities were equal, they rarely were.
This debate was one of the few that was brought into the Supreme Court, and because of this, it is important to know the successes, failures, and consequences of this debate/court case. While this debate didn't have a true success, there were two things that could be counted as one, and that was that the debate between Plessy and Ferguson brought attention to the exact laws and segregation that were in Louisiana at the time, and that because this case was brought to the Supreme Court, it caught the attention of people who in the future would fight racial injustice, such as Martin Luther King Jr.
The failure of this debate was the fact that the court sided with John H. Ferguson, meaning that the separate but equal doctrine was still in action, which means that Plessy's arrest was justified in court. So the court didn't, so to say, believe that segregation was a problem because they thought that the separate facilities were equal.
The consequence that came from this debate was that it made it so places with racial segregation were strengthened and it was deemed acceptable. Racial segregation was continued for years after this case because it was constitutional and the acts weren't retracted for years after. Even though Plessy lost the case, he influenced people that didn't believe in racial segregation to stand up for what they believe in. This documentary was created by Helena Peters, Olivia Scafardi, and Abigail Scafardi.